Very good. Now we must place the solution into the thermal cycler. The first step consists of heating the solution to 94 degrees Celsius. This is the denaturing step, which causes the separation of the DNA into single strands by the breaking of the hydrogen bonds between the complementary strands. Do you know what the second step is, Derek?
Yes, the temperature is lowered to 60 degrees Celsius, which allows the attachment of the primers to the single-stranded DNA. Finally, the temperature is raised slightly to 72 degrees Celsius, where the DNA polymerase synthesizes a new DNA strand complementary to the template strand through the addition of the deoxynucleoside triphosphates. Hence, this cycle is repeated 32 times by the thermal cycler. What do we do now? I was absent that day. Miss Illingworth taught this to my biology 11 standard.
The final step is to check if the PCR produced the proper DNA fragment through the technique of gel electrophoresis, which is the separation of the fragments according to their sizes. Now we wait.
What are we waiting for?
Patience, young one, as the scientist compares the DNA to the Interpol DNA databank.
What is the Interpol DNA databank?
This database holds DNA from people who have voluntarily given police a DNA sample in order to eliminate themselves from investigations to convict rapists and murderers, where personal information about these people is easily accessible.
Perfect match.
Good. As for the fingerprint,
Yes, the fingerprint. Must be such a long procedure. We are going to be comparing it to all the suspected criminals. It will take years.
calm down, Derek. We're in a modern society, and there are more technological ways of fingerprint identification. We're going to use the automated fingerprint identification system.
Yes. I know all about the automated fingerprint identification system. In India, each police station had their own automated fingerprint identification machine.
How could India afford to provide one machine per police station? They're so expensive.
Thanks to the daily monetary contribution of our fellow criminals. But we have a flat impression of the fingerprint. How are we going to compare to the database which is on the computer?
Elementary, my dear Derek. It can be scanned by placing the flat print impression onto a glass plate above a camera, or by placing a 10 print card, which is a print taken using ink onto a flatbed or a high-speed scanner.
I know what the computer is doing, I think. It is using algorithms to mark all the minuta or important points, as you people say in English, cores and deltas on the print. I think these important points are then compared to the fingerprint that are on the integrated automatic fingerprint identification system. Am I right?
Yeah. This looks suspicious.
It probably belonged to a mailman or the newspaper kid. We should probably ignore it and take the victim's sister into custody.
It would be rather unprofessional to leave loose ends in this investigation. I shall not close this case so soon.
Prosecutors have found the victim's sister guilty of first-degree murder. The victim, who cannot be named for legal reasons, recently won a 40 million euro lottery. However, he consented only to share 10% with his sister, after which she left him a threatening message on his voicemail outlining her intentions to kill him should he refuse to share a larger amount of his winnings. The Gendarme de Paris refuses to release the voicemail. The murderer has been sentenced to life in prison for first-degree murder of her brother. The victim's sister pleads not guilty to the crime. She accuses the authority of going after her because she is brown. Although the murderer is suspected to have been wearing gloves, the Gendarmes de Paris have discovered fingerprints they claim belong to the attacker. Chief Inspector Jacques Clouseau says, quote, "The fingerprint is now being cross-referenced with our database," end quote.
Wow, this murderer clearly lacks intelligence. The entire raw data is safely preserved at our forensic laboratory.
Well, what are the chances of that?
Hello? 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 Hello?
You idiot. What? Whoa, are you certain? Are you certain? Interpol has a backup of all the DNA samples? Oh, thank you very much.
Hello? 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 The DNA samples have arrived. We are on our way.
We have found a connection between the two lottery murders. From the DNA samples you provided, we've determined that a common fingerprint was present in both crimes. We have tracked these to the president of the European Embryonic Stem Cell Society, Philip Fritzwerker.
Boy, पकड़ो! You have the right to remain silent. You are under arrest.
I'm innocent. I didn't do anything.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Mr. Lingworth now will know that I associate with you. Okay. We have found a connection between the two lottery murders. From the DNA samples you provided, we've
Okay, hold on.
determined-
Sorry.
What?
Move it up a
What's
bit.
the problem then?
Sorry. Okay, there.
Go.
Ready?
Okay. We have found a connection between the two lottery murders. From the DNA samples you provided, we've determined that a common fingerprint was present in both crimes. We have tracked these to the president of the European Embryonic Stem Cell Society, Philip Fritzwerker.